again, everyone. Welcome back to Landric Plays. I am still Landric, and I am still playing Hand of Fate. So we last episode we sort of went through the first level, we went through the tutorial, and we beat the Jack of Dust. So let's see what we are up against this time.
Ah, good. Now you understand the basics, we can begin in earnest. Your hero is returned to his beginning items. Our decks are reset. Welcome to the cabinet, home of the members of my court.
Thanks, it's great to be here. So, yeah, as the dealer says, we don't retain any of the equipment we've collected on previous run-throughs, but we do get to build a new deck to face the new challenges ahead. So if we hit story mode, we can take a look at the cabinet. So here is the Jack of Dust. This is the champion that we faced last time, and which we fairly soundly defeated. And next we are moving on to the next Jack. We are moving on to the Jack of Skulls. So the Jack of Skulls adds a couple of challenges to the deck, to the map. So he adds 3 lots of the Two of Skulls and 3 lots of supplies. So let's select him.
Time for you to face my undead army. Meet the Jack of Skulls.
It's a pleasure. How do you do? So, before we can start the game, we actually have to go into the deck builder and build our deck. So we can use a recommended equipment and encounter deck, and I think I'm going to hit yes, but then we'll sort of go and just take a look at how the deck building works, because it is, I won't say it's the most interesting part of this game, but it is a nice touch. So we can have a look at our equipment, we can have a look at the encounters, and there are these special modifiers that we can also add. So let's look at those first. So this is the wildcard update, which adds different fates that we can select in order to change the way the game plays, and each fate adds different modifiers. This is essentially the difficulty level, so you can add extra challenges if you want. So Adventurer is the default, Apprentice is easy mode, Warlord is hard mode, but there are also other slightly more challenges, slightly more... so whereas like hard mode just is flat buffs to all of the monsters, for example. So bandits have have throwing knives, enemies move and attack faster and things like that, and it adds a couple of different cards. Let's go back. Whoop, no, not all the way back. The other ones have. Here we go. So Nomad has certain rules. So Nomad has no inventory. You can't carry extra equipment. You can only sell it. And it also adds this additional card called the Nomad's Desert. In fact, the Nomad's Desert 1, so there's probably a series of these that this would unlock. If we have a look at so the Hoarder's Desire, the more spare equipment you have in your hoard, the more health you have, so kind of the opposite of the Nomad. The Explorer's Gift, so you can't wear heavy armour, but moving over completed encounters costs no gold. So there are a bunch of different modifiers that you can play with. I'm going to keep it on the default Adventurer. Let's have a look at our equipment. So this is our deck. So you can see the new cards that we've recently acquired, and you can see the stuff that's in our collection but not currently in our deck. I think I'm quite happy with this, actually. I'm quite happy with the default one. So we've got Desperate Measures, which is the hammer we got for beating the bandit Jack. We can't see any of its stats because we haven't found it in play yet, so we have to find it before we can learn anything about it. So fair enough. Same for Chains of Rage and Fortitude's Breath. These are both special items, so unlike standard medium armor or standard shields, this one probably has some interesting effects with it. And yeah, there's nothing really I want to swap out. If I... Actually, I tell you what, I'm going to swap out this sword for another axe, because axes do more damage than swords, so I don't know why we'd really want a sword. Perhaps it's faster than an axe? I don't actually know. Okay, I tell you what, I'll swap one axe out for a sword, and if we get a sword we can sort of just compare and see what we think. So let's go back, and let's have a look at the encounters. So we actually have, so we have to have 12 encounters in our deck, which means there's only one that we can't keep. we have to have the bandit attack, we have to have the Jack of Skulls, and we have to have Captain of the Guards, because they all have this lock at the top. We can't remove these from our deck until we've defeated them. So Dead Man's Gorge we saw last time, a Winding Trail, and Ambush we also saw last time. And these are all locked as well. But we also have some new cards, so we've got the River, the Devil's Choice, and some other things. So we could swap out Dead Man's Gorge for one of these new ones, but why would we do that? And we could swap it out for one of the old ones, but again, why bother? This will be absolutely fine. So let's, without further ado, take our deck and take it to the Jack of Skulls. So we'll start the game.
New content awaits you. It will be awarded when you complete your run. I will add my own cards to the deck. How boring life would be without a little spice.
So there we go. So we've added our cards to the deck, our encounters, but we've also added these purple ones, which belong to the Jack of Skulls. So all the monster cards get
Place for
shuffled over
life
here.
and death. Prepare yourself.
The equipment and things get shuffled over here, and here are the encounters. So again, first level of this dungeon, if you like, is quite a linear path. So let's make our way along it. So it's the Maiden again.
Given how rarely one encounters the folk, you are fortunate indeed to meet Merith again. Or perhaps we are merely cycling around the wheel and dipping into the same memories time and time again.
Perhaps, who can say? So yeah, as he's alluding to, all of these cards are based on memories that we've had of our life before we've reached this place. So, I think last time we asked for longer life and we got some max health increase. We could ask for more supplies, we could ask for more gold, but I think I value longer life much more than either of these, so let's go for that again. So we draw 1 max health gain card and 5 max health, brilliant.
More
so it's
health to work with. Much good may do you.
Yeah, it's not a huge increase, but you know, that 5 health could make all of the difference, we'll have to see. It is said that sharp-eyed adventurers may protect themselves from the worst of Lady Luck's contrary nature. See, there you go, those, the shifting cards mechanic that we've seen before. If we keep a close eye on those cards, we are much better placed to get through it in one piece. So, 1 encounter over, that was fine. We're a net gain of 5 health, so let's make our way down the path. Captain of the Guards.
I always thought it was best to avoid the problems of others. I see you have no such concerns.
No, of course not. We're going to stick our nose in everybody's business because that's more fun.
There's a token in it for you if you win.
So we hear a shout from up ahead and the sounds of battle. Racing forwards, we discover a warrior surrounded by the undead. Ooh dear, that sounds nasty. And because this card has this sort of token icon at the bottom, we are now playing for a token. So if we successfully pass this encounter, we get this token, and this token will unlock stuff later down the line. And I'm pretty sure this card is one of the ones that's locked into our deck as well, so if we pass it, we'll be able to swap it out for something else. Broken bones litter the area around the man, but there are still more closing in on him, and he appears badly injured, so he's drawn the 2 of skulls. Yeah, 2 skeletons. How bad could it be? Stranger, he calls out, as he throws his weapon to you. Here, take my mace, and put an end to these monstrosities. Ah, mace, brilliant. So I think the mace might do extra damage to the undead. We'll have to have a look. Mace, 27 damage.
It's a lump of iron on a stick. Not terribly subtle.
It is not terribly subtle, no, but then neither are we. So this weapon, not only does it do more damage than our standard axe, it has the Holy modifier. Equipment with the Holy trait strikes fear into the cold hearts of the undead. They will sustain more damage and may not be resurrected around such holy relics. Fantastic, so this is perfect. So this is probably why this was locked into our deck for this encounter, because now we have something that will be very, very useful for taking on the Jack of Skulls and his minions. So let's equip that, because remember, everything gets reset at the start, so we're back down to our rusty axe. So, absolutely,
Really?
yes.
Is that what you're going to do?
Yes, it is what I'm going to do. Why would I do anything differently? So, back in combat we are. So, 2 of skulls. They go over there, and we get all of our equipment. So, pow, pow. So we don't have a shield anymore, so we can't block projectiles, and I don't know if we can counter certain attacks, but luckily we don't need to. 2 skeletons, pah! With our fancy new mace, it is not even... we didn't even break a sweat on that. Good work putting them to rest. Keep the mace, we have enough here at Kadir, he says, slowly standing. We've been hearing reports of undead in our kingdom recently, and I came to investigate. He stops to look around at all of the bone fragments. More of them here than I suspected. Some new horror must have decided to settle in these parts and brought its minions. Yeah, he's called the Jack of Skulls, and we're going to go bash his head in with this shiny new mace. So thanks for that. I must head back to the capital and report this to the Duke. Watch your step, friend. There is something more powerful at work than just these skulls. Yeah, I know, I just said he's called the... never mind. So, we get this token.
The token is yours. Well done.
So this goes in our little pod of tokens here, and then win or lose, these tokens are ours now. So even if we don't make it all the way to the Jack of Skulls, at the end of this level, we will open all of these tokens, unlock some new cards, and see where that leaves us. So we spend a little bit more food again as we advance, and we get the river.
Running water protects against many things in myth. Generally, though, it's just a pain to get past.
I love the lines this guy comes out with. He, like, the voice acting and the writing really, really make this game.
Win this and claim my token.
So there we go, we are now playing for another token. Our path is blocked by the river, so let's attempt to cross the river. So, success, success, huge success, failure. So let's keep our eyes on these ones.
A
choice.
choice.
That's a shame.
Select your desire.
So, interesting. So now we know that this is a success. But do we gamble and go for the huge success? I think... So, this is definitely a success. There is a failure, a success, and a huge success left. So our odds are still good. We still have a 2 in 3 chance of succeeding. So let's go for it. Huge success. Fantastic. So, because we're wearing light armour, we make the crossing easy, and we even stop to dive for some shiny stones on the riverbed that may fetch a few coins. So, rather than just getting across the river, we actually get a gold gain card on the way. So we flip through our gain cards until we find one that gives us gold.
I'm sure you're grateful for that.
Fairly grateful, yeah. 25 gold. That's absolutely not bad. And we also get the token. Ah. So we put the ring aside, we get a special ring. So maybe that's related to the token. So maybe we would have only got that token if we'd got that huge success. And these are the stairs out.
Deeper towards our foe.
Deeper towards our foe, deeper towards our fate. So we're going to take the stairs and embark upon the next leg of our adventure.
Many have reached this far. Further, in fact. I do not know if you have what it takes to do better than they did.
Well, we shall see. We are still on the first few easy levels. Things will get much, much harder, but, you know, as wise people have said, losing is fun. Aha, Mr. Lionel again.
I'm starting to wonder if you're simply leaving this card in as a quick way to get your hands on a shield.
Well, I mean, now that you mention it. So, Mr. Lionel shows up again, pokes us with his wooden staff again, and asks us what we need. So we know that if we ask him what he needs, he will give us a shield, because we had this last episode. We could give him 20 gold. I kind of want the shield, but also, you know, we're only up against skeletons. They've not been that bad so far, so we can probably do without the shield for a little bit at least. So let's give him 20 gold and see what happens. Occasionally losing his place and moving different coins around randomly, he attempts to count the gold you place in front of him. This carries on for a while, before he, quite calmly and deliberately, swallows each of the coins one by one. Okay then. Now, let's see what I have for you. So there goes our gold. Mr. Lionel taps his staff on the ground, and a shield materialises at your feet. There you go, old bean. He smiles a warm... So we still just get the shield, but it cost us 20 gold instead of just asking nicely. Really? Okay. Fortitude's Breath. So we did get the good shield in our deck. So every third encounter does not consume food. That's pretty good. Press right mouse button to shield bash a target, stunning it. So we can reflect, we can counter, and we can shield bash for a stun. Alright, fine. So we've got a shield. It maybe cost us 20 more gold than it had to, but, you know, it'll do. So before we can stop him, and within human speed, he takes his pickled onion again. 20 gold and a pickled onion? I'm not sure that is a fair deal for that shield. Ah well. So, up or right? I'm going to go right this time, and we'll circle around this way. Okay, so we found a travelling tinker. In a shady grove off the beaten trail, you find a travelling merchant looking to trade with wandering adventurers. Hey, I'm a wandering adventurer. It's a shame we just got rid of 20 of our gold, but we will see what you have to offer. Here we go. It's a little bit strange that it loads into this sort of environment just to do the trading, because we don't see any of it. We only see this. This could easily have happened on the other table and saved us a loading screen. Let's see what you've got to offer. So you've got the healing cap, which we can't afford. You've got a sword, which we can't afford. We've got some medium armour. And the hammer Desperate Measures, which is a very, very strong mace, which inflicts more damage the lower the health of the wielder is, and it's also holy. So that would be nice to have. We wouldn't have been able to afford it even if we hadn't got rid of that 20 gold. So currently we're wearing light armour. We could pick up the medium armour. Yeah, let's give it a go.
Distinctly average. What do you expect me to say? Congratulations?
I mean, yeah, you could do. Alright, we'll grab the medium armour. So that spends all of our gold, and then yes, we'll equip that.
Armor protects you from damage. The best armor, of course, does so much more.
That is true. So, part of the reason we got through that river encounter was we were only wearing the light armor. So if we were wearing medium armor, I don't know if we'd have been able to get those extra shiny rocks. But hey, who can say? Okay, so let's go up. And we're in the Twisting Canyon again.
It lives in every game. That initial moment where things begin. I have worked on these cards all my days, and the canyon has been there from the outset.
So this was the first card we saw last time, and we see that weapon glinting in the sunlight again at the bottom. So before, when I said we were wearing light armor and it didn't restrict our movement and it let us go across the river, I'm a little concerned that climbing down in medium armor might be a little bit more tricky, but you know, let's give it a go. No guts, no glory. So still 3 successes and 1 failure, so I think we're probably going to be okay. There we go, so pick this success. Alright, so medium armor is still fine. Very, very carefully we make our way down to the bottom of the canyon and we retrieve the weapon. So we flip through our cards until we get a weapon, and we get the weapon that I was after. We get Desperate Measures. Perfect. So from the outset it does more damage than the mace. It also has this extra bonus, and it's still holy, which is good against the skeletons. Perfect. And then that must mean these are the stairs. There we go.
Were you hoping this was the end?
No, don't be silly.
Another floor awaits.
So yep, we definitely have at least 1 more floor to go.
What brings you to play the game? Ha, I know you will not tell me. Like all the rest, you are silent.
We are indeed. So we've got no gold, we've got 13 food, so even if this isn't the last floor, that's still probably plenty of food. Let's see what this encounter is. The Dead King's Hall.
Greed. If it were not for greed, then who would play at this game?
Yeah, that's a good point. So we see an ancient ornate coffin in the main burial chamber. It may hold spectacular wealth, but it will surely be guarded. So we're going to draw 2 monster cards. But, you know, luckily we're actually pretty well kitted out right now, so let's give this a go. So, 2 of dust and 2 of dust. So 4 bandits in total, nothing we've not handled before. So let's attempt to take them by surprise. So we get 2 huge successes, 2 failures. So this one got shuffled twice, and even if it hadn't, we still wouldn't be Sorry, this one got, yeah, it got shoveled twice, so we're still not 100% sure of which is which. But let's go for this one, and, because, you know, 50-50 chance. Damn. So, we haven't completely failed, but we have failed to take them by surprise. But they spot us, so now we go into combat. So I think if we'd taken them by surprise, we might have got rid of one of these cards and only had to face 2 of the bandits. But, it's fine. 4 bandits is still nothing. There's our fancy shield, there's our fancy mace. Let's go. Pow! Whoa, pow! Oops, that one actually got us down. Did 3 whole damage. Click, 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 click. Bam, bam, bam. So we finish him off on the ground, and there we go. All 4 over and done with. Almost without a scratch. We got a tiny little... He basically gave us a paper cut. So we loot the room, we get 3 gain cards, and this token. Perfect. So we draw 1 equipment, so we get a sword. Yay.
The most fundamental symbol of might for an age.
It's true, but it's nowhere near as mighty as our mighty mace. So we won't equip it, but it still goes into our inventory. So maybe if we come across another shop, we'll sell it, we'll get some more gold back, and then we'll buy something else more exciting. And we get 25 gold as well. Brilliant. And most importantly of all, we get this token. So let's go this way. Oh no, an ambush.
What did you think would happen with a card called Ambush, eh?
Somebody gonna give us ice cream? That'd be great. Nope, 4 of dust. Okay, no ice cream then. So, same number of bandits as last time, but this time they're all in 1 card instead of spread across 2. So right now these bandits are absolutely trivial to fight, but as we get later on in the game, the dealer will actually upgrade his cards, so these will become more powerful and more of a threat. Still probably not, well, absolutely not the most challenging type of enemy that we're going to face, but they will stop becoming sort of quite so... we'll stop going through them like a hot knife through butter. But for now, who cares? So, while searching the area for anything worth salvaging, you realise that one of your opponents is only pretending to be dead. So we can sneak up and kill him, which seems a little bit unchivalrous, or we can flee. I don't really like the idea of fleeing. So let's quickly bop him on the head. So here's the failure, which means this one must be a success. And there we go, quick weapon blow to the head fixes that. So that lets us finish searching the area safely, and that gives us another 3 gain cards. So we draw 3 cards from the armory, and we can select one to keep, so we don't need the axe. We don't really need either of these helmets. So the explorer's helmet gave us... it reveals the stairs at the end of each map, or rather at the start of each map it reveals the end. And I suspect we might even be about to face the final boss right now, so this probably isn't that helpful. And it gives a bonus gold for fully clearing a floor, which again probably isn't that useful. So even though we're back at full health and probably don't need it, I'm going to take the healing cap.
In my day, we simply avoided being wounded. Healing will suffice, however.
Hey, you know, I intend to not get hit either, but accidents happen. And we get some more food, and some more food. Oh, okay, so we do have at least one more level to go.
One more step down, and we may see the end of this, or another set of stairs.
So let's go this way first. Ah, the bandit attack.
Our bandits are displeased with your challenges.
So a group of bandits suddenly attacks. The King of Dust isn't happy about you killing his men. The dealer draws 1 monster card, so the 3 of dust. Alright, this is fine. We'll send another message to the King of Dust. Counter. Counter. Maybe I should actually lose some health so our Desperate Measures does more damage. That's fine. Pow, there we go. Ooh, mace straight to the face. Alright, encounter done. Let's get back to hunting for this Jack of Skulls. And we get a game card. We don't really need any of these game cards. We're sufficiently kitted up enough that we can probably quite easily defeat the final boss.
Ever deeper into the subterranean pit.
Yeah, subterranean pit.
Good. Now all you need to do is find and kill the Jack of Skulls, and we can progress.
We can indeed. I suspect he's probably here. Ah, winding trail.
Well then, how will you deal with this?
So, suddenly a tree falls across our path, blocking the way ahead. So it's the Three of Dust. And they yell, give us all of your gold or die. So we could give them all of our gold, all 25 of it. Or, you know, it's the principle of the thing. They're not getting my gold. So we'll spend a little bit more time smacking around the bandits, send a message to the King of Dust. He's definitely not going to be fond of us by the time we get to him. Pow. Ah, whoops, accidentally broke my own combo streak there. Whoops, and again. Wow, that one actually did a little bit more damage than I expected, so we're down to 98 health. Ah well, not a problem. So do we get any treasure from that? 3 game cards, nice. So some more equipment, a shield, which
I
we
cannot
don't need.
expect you to get by without some protection.
Some more food. Aha, and a health potion. Plus 10 health. So back up to full health. Ah, the Devil's Choice.
I like this demon. He lies as often as he tells the truth.
Ah, but that also means he tells the truth as often as he lies, so, you know.
A challenge for you, and a token if you succeed.
A cloaked devil appears in your path. I'm here to test your strength, so-called hero. Choose your foe. So, again, there's a token in it for us. We can pick the Two of Skulls, the Two of Skulls, or the Three of Dust. Let's pick the Two of Skulls. Ah, since that is whom you wish to fight, I think today I shall make you fight the others instead, just for fun. Of course, because he's a devil. So instead of fighting Two of Skulls, we're fighting the Two of Skulls and the Three of Dust, which actually probably isn't that much of a problem. I think I would have preferred fighting the 4 skeletons, but oh well. Let's, ooh, what's that flying in the background? See, I'm getting... Wow, that's sea monster. Why are we on a boat? Devils, man. He blocked our attack with a shield. That was a bit of a pain. Oops. Oh dear. I'm getting too distracted. There we go. Pop, pop. I think we killed him with a hit to the knee. I used to be an adventurer like you. No, we're not getting into that. So there we go. All of the devil's challenges defeated. There we go. Excellent, the devil cries. You have passed my cunning test. Have some treasure, and perhaps next time our paths crossed, I will kill you myself. No, please no. So we get 3 game cards and this token. More food, more equipment,
I'm sure you're
more medium
grateful for
armor,
that.
which we already have,
Are you sure that's the right approach?
and more equipment. Aha, so we finally get our artifact, the Damocles.
Artifacts give you powerful abilities to use in combat.
So let's move on to the next one. And a shop. So we could approach the shop, but I don't think we've got that much equipment in our deck that we need or can afford. So we could sell all of the loot that we're carrying around with us, but because none of it is retained between levels, I'm just going to pass this by. I don't think it's worth spending time going to the shop. Now let's reveal the Jack of Skulls.
The undead. Of all the players in the game, these are the most dangerous in the world, yet in no natural form. A wrongness, an error, cheating.
This tenacious undead is unusually difficult to lay to rest. In addition to sheer strength, this skeleton has the power to revive recently defeated skeletons in its close vicinity, but I think our Holy Mace will actually prevent that ability from happening, which is kind of useful. Serving as captains to squads of lesser skeletons, these unholy abominations strike fear into the hearts of all warm-blooded folk, for until this fiend is defeated, their legions are, effectively, endless.
We play for a token now.
Yes, we do. Alright, so this is the dealer's champion for this map. So he brings a party of skeletons to, well, the party. Oh, he looks fun. Here we go. Let's...
Shots from rifles cannot be deflected. You would do better to avoid them. Are you agile enough?
So there's actually a skeleton with a gun over there. Some of these skeletons have attacks that can't be blocked. So let's try and take out these low-level skeletons again before... you can resummon those. Alright, maybe we have to go for... Alright, we do have to go for him first. So we'll use our stun. Use our Damocles. Alright, we'll focus on the Jack of Skulls to stop him reviving everyone. There we go. The Jack of Skulls is ours. Back to see the dealer.
Ah, well done. Well done indeed.
So he goes into the cabinet.
Roused the dead in their dusty tombs, and even I cannot say what will come of it. Now our wager becomes more interesting. Will the tools you've earned suffice to address the challenges I pose? That is the question, is it not?
So, we have unlocked a whole bunch of tokens in that run. Some of them from cards, some of them, like this one, are from free updates and DLC that got released. So let's start with this one. Not that I have a choice, but... the Murder at Sea DLC. So this gives us the Landlocked Lubber, which always is in our deck until we see it, and it unlocks more of these same Murder at Sea tokens, which will sort of progress that particular adventure. Similarly, we have, I think this one's the White Minotaur. So this one isn't locked, this one doesn't have to go into our deck, so we'll probably put it in there ourselves. The Song of the White Minotaur. And again, more updates. The White Council is expanding its influence. The White Council Part 1. So these are all sort of like mini quests and adventures that have a little sort of narrative arc within them. The Goblin King's Halls. Oh hey, is that Mr. Lionel again? Lovely. So we'll put some of these into our deck. Ooh, what's this one? The Underworld awaits your sacrifice. And then back to the normal tokens. So these are from cards that we unlocked during the course of that game. So for helping the Captain of the Guard, we get some equipment. We get a mace and another mace. So we'll pop those into our deck. For diving into the river, we receive a ring. So we haven't actually come across any rings yet, so this one will be quite nice. For exploring the Dead King's Hall, we receive a treasure chest. So this is another encounter that can appear in our maps, and this one will also unlock more and more cards as we go through. For surviving the Devil's Choice, we receive the Devil's Wager. What's this one going to be? This is for defeating the Skeleton Jack. So this gives us the Crucible, the Queen of Dust, a Helpful Priest, and a Desert Storm. So I don't know how many of these we're going to be able to fit into our deck in one go. So we might have to shuffle our deck around between maps just to get all of the encounters that we've unlocked. And our reward is some equipment. So we get the Helm of Reflection, the Consuming Shame, Angel's Wing, and Frostfang. Wow, these actually sound pretty good. So let's add all of those to our collection.
Shall we deal again?
And then next time we will deal again, we will go through our deck, we will add what we can. But thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.